Hello, everyone, and welcome to Weekly Wisdom and Insights. I am your host, Dearjames, and my beautiful co-host, the Lady Jacqueline, is off this week. Well, welcome back. We were off last week, as you know, and a very interesting thing happened. These energies are unbelievable. We are in eclipse. We're in this final eclipse. It just occurred yesterday. And as I sat down to do today's show, and we had missed, of course, we were off last week, 11/2. And today is 11/9. And so, of course, I'm writing down the date. And what I hear is 29. And I'm like, that's interesting. It's the 9th, not the 29th. So, and yet, as the unseen is, they are guiding us and directing us every single step of the way. And so we'll jump into that. We're going to talk about 29, which of course is the 2 from last week and the 9 from this week being combined. And it talks about the abyss, but it's the importance of the abyss. So welcome everybody. Action-packed energies, action-packed week, months. And hello to everyone as you're joining us from around the globe. Please place in the comments that you are joining us so that we know that you are there. And throughout the broadcast, remember, we come here and we do this both to share, but also to receive your comments, to receive your questions and so forth, and integrate it all throughout the show. And so welcome Elizabeth, welcome Ann, welcome Kelly. So great to have you all here. Elizabeth, welcome Ann, welcome Kelly. So great to have you all here, and so excited and happy to be back. Had a wonderful time in majestic Austin. And there's an expansiveness about that as well. So there's an energy that is present, very, very conscious of this energy. And this is for everyone. The 5-pointed star that we've been talking about, and it's the flower of Venus and so forth. And this amplification of our beingness, of our energy, of what's on offer, what's on tap. And you'll see how the messaging for this week, these last 2 weeks, the month of November, it is about expansion. It's no longer playing it small. It is no longer looking back. It's not about who we were. It's about who we are. And it's all about this expansive, limitless, abundant energy offering. So let's jump in. Very excited about this. So the theme of the 29, the theme of last week, this week in the month, is peace be with you. So this is very interesting because 11, hexagram 11, is peace. And so there's a very profound, and 11s are a gateway. They are a way to, a way through. And so as we look at our world events, as we look at how we go about living our lives, our interactions, and especially the interaction with self. Because the one we're having with ourself is the one we're having with others. It's a mirror, and they're showing up as we are soul to soul, they're showing up. So the greater alignment, the greater amount of peace that we are having internally with ourselves, that will magnify, that will amplify, that will magnetize, that will be the experience. And so it's a very profound statement attributed to Master Jesus, saying, in essence, peace be with you. And there's an and unto you. So there's this huge message about peace. And so how do we incorporate it? How do we advance it? And we often talk about this, right? I mean, we talk about this lifelong. It can be attributed to beauty pageants, and the contestants always saying, what is it that you want, and whatever, and they say world peace. And it's become a cliche, and yet it's a truth. It is about achieving world peace, internal peace, and peace through gratitude, through action, through mindset, through our words, our thoughts. And the images, we're an image, we're a hologram, we're an image, the images that we put forth. So, peace be with you is the main theme. 29 is going to be the hexagram we're looking at, which is called the abyss. And with that, we have the full moon total lunar eclipse that just occurred yesterday morning on the 8th. And we're going to delve into that as well, because it's really setting up the tone for these next 6 months and everything and beyond. But it shifts us. So first thing they said, and this is very poignant based on, and I'm going to bring up a quote. So the first thing they said is, do not fear, for the outcome is, underlined, is assured, with an exclamation point. And then they said, it's a double entendre. It's a positive and a negative, meaning, do not fear, for the outcome is assured. We've often talked about 2022 as a 6 year. It's about conflict. It's also about destiny. And so what they're saying to us is, in this moment, do not fear, for the outcome is assured. All we have to do is ask ourselves, are we aligned with destiny, the positive aspect of the arrival of the new, or are we clinging and holding on to the past? Are we in conflict? We don't want the change. And thereby, the outcome, do not fear, for the outcome is assured, meaning your individual outcome is assured. What you are embracing, embodying, will come to fruition. And so we can see how the power of peace. So if we're advancing, well, not if, we are advancing, the thing will be, are you choosing it? Are you choosing to advance? Are you choosing to renew, to flower, to keep unfolding? And to what degree are you willingly embracing that? Because that sets the tone for your advancement, and that word's in here, the advance of things. And again, or are you cleaving and clinging to an old way, to the past? Are you trying to turn the clock back? And you'll see how this looking back, that's going to be at the very end. There's an analogy here that they're giving me for this looking back, and that we're not to look back. We're to look forward. So welcome, Elizabeth, and Alicia, welcome. And so do not fear, for the outcome is assured. We've got this double entendre, and you've got to decide which side of the experience you wish to be on. And I want to bring up the quote, because there were two here, and it talks about, remember, the way does not speak, it reveals by deeds and events. So the way just is, it's present, it's ever evolving, it's ever changing, it's ever advancing. The arc of destiny moves forward. And so here it's saying the way does not speak, it reveals by deeds and events. So we're going to see it in our individual lives. We're going to see it on the world stage, because it reveals by the outcomes of things, by the events of things. And so there's this, and this really sets things up for this, which is, it's an Egyptian proverb, and it says, for the benefit of the flowers, we water the thorns too. And we're going to see how in Hexagram 29, when we can't seem to make sense of things, and we feel like we may not be advancing fast enough, or we just want to jump, that quantum leap of jumping into the new, of the old being released and gone, and it's no longer present, and it no longer matters. This beauty of this Egyptian proverb, for the benefit of the flowers, we water the thorns too. And it's up to us to cultivate the path, to cultivate the garden, to prune, to curate, to look at our individual lives, the path we're on, the journey, the people, the places, the things that are on our path, that are in our garden, individually, communally, collectively, micro, macro. And how are we tending our path, our garden? How are we pruning it? How are we, for the benefit of the flowers, watering the thorns and the weeds, the thorns and so forth, and yet knowing with ever great precision, with ever great clarity, we are tending, pruning, cleansing, which renews. And so we pull, we clip the thorns, we weed the garden, we weed the path, so that what comes forth is this radiant abundance. Because remember, here are these radiant sunflowers. This is the promise. This is the promise delivered. There's not a weed in this image of these radiant sunflowers. It is epically abundant, radiant, full, thriving, for us, with us. So this again is the promise. So here's where we are. Now, 11/9/2022. We have some powerful numbers this month. We start this week off 11/7. Monday is 11/7. Today, Wednesday, is 11/9. Friday is 11/11. All with the 22. So 11 is the most intuitive. So during this time, this month, these eclipses, and this goes back to the do not fear, for the outcome is assured. This is a time where when everything is not making sense, everything is just all over the place, peace. Take your hands off the wheel. Allow, keep allowing, allow while tending, while curating, while empowering yourselves to listen and curate. If something doesn't fit, allow it to leave. Because you already know. We already know. So we have this most intuitive month, this most intuitive moment of knowing. And it's up for us not to cling to things, not to look back. Do not look back. Look forward. Keep your eye on the prize. Keep your eye on the path ahead of you. Because then we're not stumbling. We're not going to trip and stumble and fall. We're not going to turn to a pillar of salt that comes up at the end. It's because we're moving forward, listening. The 9 represents a completion of cycles. And there was this big discussion. I was speaking with a colleague yesterday, and I said, there's an awareness that we are the revolution, meaning the cycle, this revolution, and we're coming up to midnight, 12 o'clock. And it's this week. It's like we finished, and the old is over. And so this 9 is representing completion, this completion of a cycle. And then we have the 22, which is the most powerful master number. So most intuitive and most powerful, which says we have everything we need in order to bring about the life, the change, the goals, the dreams, the desires. Pure of intention, purity, good, do no harm. So as long as all of those are, and they're saying to me, those that are buried deep inside of us, that is the prize, that is the goal, that is the ideal becomes the new reality. And so look at the fact that we have these powerful numbers. We have this week where literally it's like they just, when they say you shake the tree, or you've got a bag and you're shaking it, or it's the Christmas present and you're shaking it, and they say to you, don't break don't break it before you open it. It's that this week is all about don't shake. Don't allow yourselves to be shaken, broken, shaken, because there's a gift, there's a surprise, there's a present, there's a powerful new beginning, there's a powerful shift. And thereby, we're just in this final week of the release, the reset, the release. Because they said, come next week, you are, quote, cleared for takeoff. And then they said, runway is clear, open, unobstructed, take flight. They also then, with the word runway, they said, and under it, they said, or run away, hide, cower, give up. And I drew a downward arrow like, meh. So come next week, we are cleared for takeoff. The runway is clear, open, unobstructed, take flight. The clarity is going to come to us. The visions are going to come to us. We're going to have an expanded point of viewpoint. Remember, Scorpio, this is where Taurus and Scorpio is the axis that the eclipse, the full moon and the eclipses are on. And the lower or the shadow side or the lower octave of Scorpio is the scorpion. The higher octave is the eagle. The eagle closest to God, source, spirit, and so forth. A bird's eye view. They're giving us the analogy of take flight. The runway is clear. So there's just this last week here of blockages, obstructions, this clearing out of the goo, the mess, so as to take flight. Because that's the choice. Do you take flight? Are you on the runway, ready to go? Or do you run away? Do you hide? So be really mindful here. And as we're coming into this, let me jump to this and kind of give you an overview of this total lunar eclipse that we've just experienced. You'll see on your screen on the left is Taurus. It's where the north node is. On the right is Scorpio. It's where the south node is. The north node represents where we're going. The south node represents what we're releasing. And you can see the astrological chart for the full moon total lunar eclipse that occurred in Taurus. And you can see if you look on the kind of lower right of the circle, lower left of the circle, you'll see the moon at 16 degrees Taurus. It is, so tightly conjunct Uranus at 16 degrees. Uranus is the planet of the unexpected. Expect the unexpected. The moon is about revealing. It reveals what's hidden. And then you'll see the north node symbol at 13 degrees. So this is all in Taurus, an earth sign, which means too that it's tangible. It's not ethereal, it's going to be tangible. Things that we can feel. Looking directly opposite on the axis, you'll see Scorpio. You see the sun sitting in the center at 16 degrees. To the right of that, at 15 degrees, is Mercury. Mercury represents communication, film, celluloid, the winged messenger to the gods. And as of late yesterday and today, it had what's called a cazimi. The cazimi is where the Mercury is directly within the sun. So the sun is our life force, right? It amplifies, it magnifies. And thereby, the messenger, Mercury, the winged messenger, has a cazimi, has literally a one-on-one alignment with the sun to amplify the message, to amplify the clarity. And at 20 degrees, Scorpio, kind of out advancing, is Venus, that five-pointed star, the queen of heaven, the flower of Venus. And here she is, in that sense, leading the way. Here's the divine feminine leading the way. And what do we attribute to the feminine? Harmony, peace, birth, renewal, this liberating life force. And she is out leading the way of this moment. And so, and you can see, and what you don't see on the screen on the chart, the south node would be directly opposite at 13 degrees Scorpio. So it would be just to the right of Mercury. And so you have this beautiful symmetry of, because as Venus leads the way, this 20-degree advanced placement, you have the south node below. So it's, what are we leaving behind? We're leaving behind the old constructs. We're leaving behind the old ways where the divine feminine has been oppressed, suppressed, maligned, ignored, obscured, gone. Bye. Bye, Felicia. Because the divine feminine, she's coming up and out. She's ready for takeoff. And every one of us, masculine or feminine, we all have divine feminine and divine masculine. And this is about the divine feminine aspects leading. It's about letting go of the old way so as to advance. And there's that, the moon representing what's hidden, conjunct Uranus, the mega planet. And what's interesting is Uranus is the higher octave of Mercury. So this amplification of clarity, of expansion, of North Node, new. And I go back to this beautiful image. For the benefit of the flowers, we water the thorns too. We must water in order for the flowers to bloom. So don't get caught up in, don't look back, don't think that everything's not changing, don't despair, don't give up, don't run away. Be on the runway. You're cleared for takeoff. We are cleared for takeoff. It's open and unobstructed, and there's going to be this rapid advance, this rapid movement. It's just that we do have, for the benefit of the flowers, we do water the thorns too. So, and that's where, again, our clarity, our curating, our keeping our hands, being allowing, our alignment with these truths, so that, because even when we can't see where it's going, we're going to be guided. It's that magnetic GPS force. We're going to be pulled. We're going to know. It's probably the best way. It's knowings. Knowing to advance, knowing to align, knowing to release, knowing that it's all going to be not only fine, but great. That is a huge message that I received while I was in Austin. And you could feel it. It's palpable. This just radiating energy of expanse, of limitlessness, and it's an energy, and thereby it's just vibrating. It's humming at a different octave, and it connects with you in a way where you're like, oh, I am that expansion. I am that limitlessness. I am this being, this energy. And it's a wake-up call. It's a reminder to say, oh God, where have I been playing it small? Where have I been hiding? Where have I been running away? Where have I been telling myself I can't have what I know to be mine? What I know my soul said it would come and do? Well, this is our week. This is our week to, boom, those eclipses, because eclipses and the sun, it's in the south node. It's a total lunar eclipse. So as a dear colleague and friend, Sheila Haidt, she's an amazing astrologer and psychic and tarot master and so forth. And she said, with eclipses, the sun brings things in. So the one that we had on October 5th, I want to say, it was a solar eclipse. So it brings things in. Lunar eclipse release things. It let them out. So, and yet what came with this was this awareness of what it reveals. So while it's releasing, it also reveals. And it's magnified because it's conjunct Uranus. And Uranus and Mercury is with the sun. So it's they're just saying to me, it's a hot tamale. So, and in a good way, in an absolute positive way. So remember, 555, right? Change. Change is neither, positive or negative. It's a divine neutral. It just is. And it's up for us to see, even in the hardest of experiences or moments, if should something happen that we would perceive as negative, and so we're seeing it as a thorn, what's the flower? What's being watered here that I may not see in the moment, and yet it's happening for my benefit? And because it's an eclipse, it's a full moon, total lunar eclipse. It's a south node, north node. It's tangible for our higher good, Scorpio, Taurus, tangible, and that we allow it. Because remember, do not fear, the outcome is assured. And that's saying to everybody, if your intention is illicit, if your intention is to cling to the past and so forth, do not fear, for the outcome is assured. You're going to have that experience. In concert with that, also, when you are open, you're ready to receive, you're on the runway, you're cleared for takeoff, you're going forward, you're open to this curating, this purging and cleansing and curating, and you're tending to your path and your garden, and you're focused forward, do not fear, for the outcome is assured, because that too will be the experience you have. So it's where's your energy and your focus and your allowing and your blind faith and trust, your full faith and trust. Where is it? And that's where this is. Because they did say with this full moon total lunar eclipse, they said the release of lifetimes, advance. And in the advance is part of HEXAGRAM 19. It's the action that's associated with HEXAGRAM 19. And so this full moon total lunar eclipse that just occurred yesterday, if I mangled my words a little bit, I'm so excited with all of this, I'm trying to get it all out. The release of lifetimes. What that means is it's literally like that quantum leap, that end of a cycle, quantum leap, like next week, game on. Game on. And we're rocking it forward. And you're going to see how I'm going to put up in the comments and everything below. Our mantra, really for this moment, this month, this week, I'm kind of going from large down, funneling it downward. It's a song by Jordan Sparks, and the title of the song is This Is My Now. And it talks about, I'm just going to give you some quick parts of the lyrics, and I will bring this up. But it says, I'll put it in the comments and a link to the actual lyrics. But it says, there was a time I packed my dreams away, living in a shell, hiding from myself. There was a time when I was so afraid. I thought I'd reach the end. Baby, that was then. I am made of more than my yesterdays. This is my now, and I'm breathing in the moment. As I look around, I can't believe the love I see. My fears behind me, gone are the shadows and doubt. That was then. This is my now. And so you can see where there's this amplification of the message of the present now. Stay focused, stay forward looking, stay open, keep your hands off the wheel, because everything that's occurring is for us. It is to advance us forward. And you've got everything. You've got everything you need. Let me bring in some of, Brigitte is saying, had this amazing vision on the eclipse of pure blackness, of the nothingness, and beautiful silver light shining down and reflecting onto water. The message was, I am a reflection of Source. Perfect. Perfect. Because remember, our shadow, and you're going to see 29, this couldn't be more perfect. The nothingness, right? The void, the blackness of nothingness, the abyss, that it's not about eradicating darkness. It is not about killing our shadow side. It is about yin yang. It is about the harmonizing, the purifying, the blending. We water the we water, sorry, I got to bring up my own quote because it's so powerful. For the benefit of the flowers, we water the thorns too. It's this part of knowing that when we purify, when we cultivate, when we curate, when we tend, when we prune, that is purifying and harmonizing the path, the garden, ourselves. So really, really, really important. Do not hold on to any one place, thing, and so forth in this moment. Be steadfast and resolute in your knowing, in looking forward, in being wide open, expansive. I am. And allow full faith and trust, allow that to deliver you, to advance you, because that is the point of, that is the energy and the offering that will come from yesterday's full moon total lunar eclipse. And it occurred at 16 degrees. 16, hexagram 16 is enthusiasm. So again, think peace. And I'm going to bring this up. Here's where we are with the energies. Peace. So hexagram 16, peace. It is the degree at which this occurred. 2022 is a 6-year conflict. And then, 16 is, 16 is enthusiasm. 11 is peace. I apologize, I had my numbers, I was going backwards. So 11, this whole month, 11, this gateway is peace. 6 is the conflict, and 16 is the enthusiasm. So you can see with this image how peace and enthusiasm, peace at the top, the 11, enthusiasm, 16 at the bottom, if you will, and conflict, the conflict is being squeezed, it's being purified, it's being curated, pruned, it's being diminished because it has no place. Conflict has no place in our being, in our present moment, and certainly not in our present future. Present future is all about peace, enthusiasm, harmony, goodness. That's what prevails. That is the age of Aquarius. That is where we are headed. That is the reality. It's the ideal becomes the new reality. And so we have this grand opportunity, of course, as we always say, right, to surrender. So in Brigitte's vision that she saw, this thing about the pure blackness of nothingness and the beautiful silver light, the silver cord, the silver light, the silver that's associated with the moon. You can see how this, and it's reflecting onto water. As above, so below, the reflecting, and it's that image. So everyone, all of the people, the places, the things, everything in our lives is purposeful and is a reflection. That's why peace, are we operating, amplifying, reconciling peace? 11, peace, 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 peace. Use enthusiasm, 16, use enthusiasm as your vehicle. And that enthusiasm, music, poetry, word, laughter, sunshine, gardens, nature, whatever is your thing, to instill and generate enthusiasm, which leads to peace, harmony, balance. Do so. And that will diminish conflict. And then with our hands off the wheel and facing forward, we're on our way. We're cleared for takeoff. That will occur next week. There's a cleared for takeoff. There is a cycle ends. Dong! It strikes midnight. The clock strikes midnight. And they're saying to me is it's just a whole new world. And that can be energetically. We can energetically feel different. Because again, higher octave of Mercury conjunct the sun, The moon, the full moon, total lunar eclipse, conjunct Uranus. So we've got the way we communicate, Mercury, the way we communicate and so forth and think and so forth, with higher mind Uranus. Boom. And it's knocking us up an octave. So it's to expect the unexpected in that positive way. Ian shared, if you have anything coming in, message about for my divine feminine, I'd be thrilled to hear what source has to say. So specifically for Ian, and this will apply for everyone, so her divine feminine is saying, you know who you are, you know who you were, who you are at the beginning. And they're showing me you in a more youthful state of existence. So younger, much younger, and saying childlike. And they're saying to you, the divine feminine is saying to you, yeah, go back and embrace her. Go, and when we say, it's not about looking back. We don't have to look back to, we just need to know, yes, okay, I instantly understand that you're saying for me to connect with, right where I am, connect with my younger knowing, my divine feminine, her, where everything was magical and limitless and unicorns and fairies and lollipops and rainbows and that's being childlike. It's not being naive. It's powerful, it's intuitive, it's all-knowing, and it's empowering. Because again, we're letting go of, we're releasing the goo. We're releasing all of the stories, all of the experiences, all of the untended things in our garden. We're focused not on looking back, we're focused on looking forward, the path before us, this is my now. You don't need to go back. You just, from this point, this is my now. I start new, afresh, new. I bring her in. I connect with her. Oh yeah, I remember her. Oh yes. Oh, I love and adore her. Oh yes. She's full of enthusiasm and excitement. She's full of awe and wonder. She's full of possibility. She knows the way. And you just merge with her. And you take your hands off the wheel. Ian, you take your hands off the wheel and you allow her to lead. You allow her to deliver you, to be in concert with. Because you're on the runway, you're cleared for takeoff. Unless you decide you're not, unless you decide to run away. Hide, cower, give up. The choice is true for all of us. This is what the unseen is saying about your divine feminine and what you do. Stand on that runway, ready to take flight. And be the co-pilot. She's the pilot. She's going to lead. So that's what they're saying. Debbie is saying, love this. Brigitte said, preceding this, I was clearing so much ancestral stuff. It was a very intense time, but so happy I did it and committed to forgiveness. It's been wild. So look at how Brigitte is talking about clearing so much ancestral stuff. What did they say? This full moon total lunar eclipse, the release of lifetimes, ancestral lineage, lifetimes, this advance. So it's going to be the release of lifetimes. It's just, and allow it. I know that it's hard when we look at people, places, things, belongings, all this stuff, and they're going to be, quote unquote, eclipsed out. It can be incredibly painful and hard. However, it's not about looking back, clinging to the past. It's not. It is about embodying and embracing the present future, the forward, and trusting that's what is best for everyone, person, place, thing is correct, because the host, remember, we're the guest. The host knows all, sees all, manages. The master weaver is weaving on our behalf, not to harm us. So we just have to remember our responsibility. The responsibility is, if I'm having a less than desire, intention, belief, action, the master weaver is assuring that outcome. Okay, that's what you want to experience? No judgment. Boom. Oh, you want to experience the greater grandeur of the limitless fulfillment of it? Because remember, it's all of it's limitless, either which way you're going. We just have to remember the responsibility of choice, of thought, of action, of word, of deed. Because remember, the way does not speak, it reveals by deeds and events. So it's quiet, it's divine neutral, it's limitless and expansive. You want to test that out? You want to try that out? You want to go that way and have that experience? Okay. And likewise, oh, you want to go that way and have that experience and do that? Okay. That's what we're talking about here. And Kim is asking, Elizabeth is saying, absolutely beautiful reminders. Kim is saying, hi everyone from Canada. I'm wondering too if there is anything coming in specifically about what's ahead for me. So Kim, they're saying immediately, keep your eye on the prize. And this is a theme for today, but they're saying specifically to you. So what that's saying to me is, you've got some things where you're second guessing things, or second guessing yourself, or you're hesitating, or there's a script playing that says, I don't know if I can have it, or if I can do it, or if and they're saying to you, keep your eye on the prize. Keep your eye, be resolute. Keep your eye on the prize. And resolute just means firm in your knowing, while we keep our hands off the wheel, because how we are delivered, how it moves us forward, well, that's the master weaver. That may be unknown. A total lunar eclipse, conjunct Uranus, the communication conjunct Mercury conjunct the sun, Venus out advancing, but that's the point. Venus is out. She's out ahead of the game. So she's leading the way. She's not banging drums and cymbals and yelling and screaming and no. She's just, see me move, see me take flight. And the seeing is knowing. So Kim, be very mindful in this moment right now of everything that you're surrounding yourself with, everything that you are telling yourself. I mean, literally on a daily basis. And I just keep seeing, bring flowers, white flowers, bring flowers in, get flowers for yourself. Light, beautiful white candles, gardenia, orange blossom, this type of thing, so that you stay harmonized, pure, happy, positive, all-knowing. You may not know the how. The how is always sourced. But the literal, like, how? What are the events? What are the steps? How does this happen? However, you do know to what they're saying is keep your eye on the prize. Steadfast and ready to advance, ready to go, joy-filled, joyful, because that is the reflection, the image that you're sharing, you're rippling out. Brigitte, she said, yesterday I was walking and a squirrel caught my attention. Had in my dream, which then directed me to a purple ribbon that looked like the purple flame. The address was 1111, white peace sign above, perfection. Friday is 11/11/22. I mean, talk about a trifecta. And it is associated with this midnight, this 12 o'clock, this striking 12, and the old releases, that old That old union is what they're saying. That old union, that old script, that old way of being releases, finished, complete. And this coming week, next week, we're ready for takeoff. We advance. Next week is the 16th. We're talking about the 16, which is enthusiasm. So we're talking about how interesting that next week is literally enthusiasm. Well, you're on the runway. You're cleared for takeoff. It's open. It's unobstructed. Go take flight. Do so with peace and enthusiasm. Go forth and conquer in the most beautiful, pure, innocent way. Divine feminine way. That is there. Because I want to bring this in before I'm going to continue with your comments and then hexagram 29. Because they said, the fifth thing they said was never look back - away. So in this eternal change and conflict, it's a 6-year change and conflict, never look back, never look away. As they said to Kim, keep your eye on the prize, keep your eye forward. Where the past, we can always learn from our past. And like with Ayan and her question, we need not look back. We need not go back. Simply stand in the present moment, looking forward, feel something and say, okay, yep, Because they're saying, in this instance, it's like Lot's wife. And this was very interesting because she is unnamed. So in the biblical references to Lot's wife, she is unnamed. I find that very fascinating. And she's only mentioned 3 times. And one of the last time that she's mentioned, Master Jesus says, remember Lot's wife. Lot was given the message to leave Sodom and Gomorrah and to not look back. He was in the lead, in the forefront. His daughters were behind him, and his wife was behind them in the story. They were advancing. Lot's wife looked back, and she turned to a pillar of salt. The analogy that they speak to is that they did so because she turned to a pillar of salt because it demonstrated that her desire or belief, fear of the unknown, of what she was giving up, as opposed to full faith and trust, blind faith, knowing, advance, go forward. You don't know, but there's a trust, there's a knowing that says go forward. And so they're saying, remember Lot's wife. It's because look what happens when we're clinging to, in our world events right now, there are those that are trying to literally turn back the hands of time, turn back the clock to 1950, erase all of this advancement, all of this coming together, uniting, this coming together, this limitless advance of prosperity, abundance, where everyone has a seat at the table. The divine feminine, the nurturing of the divine feminine. And they're saying, do not look back. Remember Lot's wife. And I heard, and I bracketed it, it was like lot in life. We have that expression in English. What's your lot in life? Or that was their lot in life. Well, it's associated to this because you can see, well, is your lot in life the advancement and the deliverance of a whole new world, a whole new way, this amplified being, or are you cleaving to the past, to an old way, to, for lack of better, the way they're given to me, false idols, false illusions? Do we believe that what we're experiencing today has more or greater value than the promise of tomorrow. And the only thing that the conflict in that, do we believe that a golden age, that that the ideal being the new reality, do we believe it exists? Do we want that for ourselves and others? Well, if so, do not look back. Because they're saying the present future awaits and arrives. So in essence, the present future arrives. The present future awaits. It's right here. We're right at, there's 11:11. There's that threshold, the 11s, a gateway, a way to, a way through. And combined with the mantra, this is my now. So powerful stuff here. Let me just get through this. Ian is saying, that's amazing. Because I have been thinking this exact same thing for several weeks and have been hearing that voice during meditations. Thank you. You're most welcome. That is, she is. This is for you, Ian. They just gave me Alicia Keys, I believe. This girl is on fire. Yeah, that divine feminine, your younger divine feminine self, she who knows, that girl is on fire. And so she is ready to take, the world and life and self by storm. Run 747 flying down the runway. Perhaps even a newly designed and redesigned and delivered Concorde. So a great bird of flight. So she's saying, yes, on fire, exactly. Elizabeth is saying, I felt more in tune this week, but at the same time, it all feels like all wants to explode at once, and I don't know what to start with first. In this moment, Elizabeth, and this is true, remember, this is a full moon, a total lunar eclipse, an eclipse of the full moon, conjunct Uranus. On the opposite side, Mercury, the sun, communication, messenger of the gods, conjunct, Kazimid with the sun. All of this amplification. Saturn is sitting out in Aquarius. Saturn is construct and time, and so where Uranus wants everything to go forward and explode in the new, Saturn is very staid and measured and wants things to, stay the same in a way. This kind of slow moving train. Well, so Elizabeth, and this is, again, speaking to everyone, all of the energies, there is this great push-pull, annoyance, frustration, fear, an application of fear, like a cacophony, a loudness, because it's mixed, right? It's mixed. It's both, because it's a crescendoing moment. It's a crescendoing time. It's like that fulfillment. And so we're right there. They're giving me like when trains are in the station, they're their loudest. The vibration is felt the loudest as it's coming in. Its energy is slowing, but also when it's amplifying, when it's taking off, when it's getting ready to depart the train station. And you can feel the pulsation and the vibration and the energy of it. They're giving that analogy in this moment. So it's both that feeling of the explosion, of the advancement, the explosion, and yet the solidarity. What they're saying, the solidarity of the material of Taurus, the earth, of the physical. So we're feeling, because it's going to be felt in a way that's grounded. Saturn, in this instance, Saturn loses the battle because the will of the people, the will of Uranus, the will of Source prevails. It's assured because it's about advancing. It's kind of like the difference between the headmaster and a professor. At the end of the day, the headmaster, the dean, the headmaster, he or she makes the ultimate decision. The professor can want something, but the dean is in charge. And that's what's happening here. And that's full love and grace to the professors and to the deans. It's no judgment. It's about honor. It's about surrender. It's about allowing. And that's what the truth of this moment is. So where Elizabeth is talking about this, we feel more in tune, and at the same time, this energy where you feel like, is everything just, are the wheels coming off the trolley? Are there sparks? Is everything engulfed in flames? Is it all just burning to the ground? And the answer would be yes, so that the phoenix may rise. That is the beauty of, and I keep going back to this, it is the beauty of, for the benefit of the flowers, we water the thorns too. Because that's what this moment is. It is about, and let me bring this into, I don't want to leave this out in any way. Because when you are sincere, you will meet with success. And this speaks to, do not fear, for the outcome is assured. Because it says, when you are sincere, when we are genuinely sincere, we will meet with success. It means there's purity of intention. There's purity involved. There's peace involved. You want for the other. There's genuine enthusiasm. You want everyone to have a beautiful, well-tended being, garden, path. You want to share in it with them. You want to share in theirs and them with you, and so forth. When you're insincere, it's not. It's based in fear and lack and judgment and so forth, and thereby in conflict, because you're in a state of being that says, if I don't take it from you, I won't have it. Or I just genuinely don't want great things for all of you. Somehow you don't deserve them. Well, that's not the future. That's not the new. That's the past. And that is going away. The dean source, the master weaver prevails. And so that's where Elizabeth, with the energy that she's feeling, very much so. I have been feeling that these last few days, and I mean, and epic fatigue, tiredness. Yet this it's simultaneous. It's like someone's got their foot mashed on the gas, and there's all of this exciting energy and limitless expansion and everything, and then on the other side, just absolute fatigue. Like, I can't keep my head up, I can't keep my eyes open. So it's the two of these until it's not, meaning until the energy has. Because I said to a dear friend and colleague in Austin, this energy needs somewhere to go. Otherwise, it's going to become, agitated, angry, frustrated. It becomes something that you don't want it to be, because you're feeling the energy of the train at the station. It's vibrating. It's like, in a positive, good way. I mean, limitless expansion, this awareness that we are that. Followed by the awareness of, and this needs a positive release, a positive conduit. It needs a positive motion, action, so as to be utilized in the most positive, beneficial, harmonious way. That has been on tap for this, building into this last week. Brigitte is saying, would love a message. So this is funny. They're saying, it's a song. They're saying, Brigitte, like, keep on trucking, rolling down that road. I think it's from Smokey and the Bandit is the song. You have great momentum. You have an 18-wheeler of energy, of offering, of abundance. And they're saying it's that song. I'll post it. It's the song from Smokey and the Bandit, and it's like keep on trucking. Don't focus on the lightness and the levity of your load. So imagine an 18-wheeler fully loaded, with its trailer fully loaded. One can look and say that's really heavy and burdensome and oh my gosh, or you can be in one the actual truck and the trailer are one. They're unified, and the levity of the load, it's light, and it's fully packed. It's fully packed and loaded. So keep on trucking is your message, because they're wanting you to see the unified force, the levity, and the abundance of what you bring, of what you offer. It's like, so imagine that when this truck and trailer, this 18-wheeler, arrives at its destination and they open the back doors, they are delivering an abundance of something, an abundance of goods. Well, in your sense, it's an abundance of energy, light, love, prosperity, goodness. So keep on trucking. No delays, no detours. No, you don't even have to. That's not even. They're like, yeah, get that. Just keep your eye on the prize, right? Keep your eye going forward, because you've got everything you need and more, and it's light, it's lightweight, but highly valuable. Kim is beautiful with a heart and a flame, and Elizabeth is saying exactly that. So before we close out, I'm mindful of the time and we're running a little bit late. I just want to run two, not away from, run two, giving you that hexagram 29 is the abyss. Its action is relinquish, hands off the wheel. Its hidden influence is nourishing vision. It's to nourish the vision of the promise, the ideal, to nourish the vision of self. Nourish yourself. There's where Kim, buying yourself flowers, white candle, nourish yourself, bringing that in so as to keep your eye on the prize. And then the underlining cause is 30, clarity. It's to persist, clarity. And remember, they're saying it's going to come next week. It's like it's advancing. It's this 11 most intuitive, 22 most powerful. It's this clarity of vision, clarity of purpose, clarity. I know to go that way. And I just release and I don't look back. I don't turn back. I don't turn away. I'm on there. And it says, when you cannot change the direction of the wind, adjust your sails and let it guide you. So this is where Master Weaver, we're the guest. Let the Master Weaver, let your source, your soul source connection, let the unknown guide you. It will deliver you because the outcome is assured. And it says, and the abyss is known as Khan. And it says, Khan reveals how we explore a path even when it feels dangerous. Whatever, so there's Elizabeth, right? It's like combustible and yet great. It's that I know it's limitless and expansive, and it's also this, it feels like everything's, burning down. And so it can feel unknown, dangerous, fearful. But it says, whatever your question, there is an element of needing to go deep below the surface to uncover what is really happening, no matter how frightening. The idea of nourishing vision can also lead to staying away because of fear. This is where, are you on the runway or do you run away? In every hero journey, just when success is on the horizon, the nemesis reappears. Will we fight or flee? I would say in this instance, will we take flight or flee? Will we, because we don't need to look back. We don't need to be fearful. We don't need to worry about the nemesis that's rearing its ugly head, because that's their experience. That is what they wish to experience. That is what the nemesis wishes to experience. Need not be ours. We're keeping our eye on the prize. We know where to go. We're going forward. We know that that's the deliverance of the promise. It's assured. We're going that, and peace be with you. It is the offering that came. Peace be with you. So, will we allow the challenge to teach us something? Will we continue to nourish vision in unhealthy ways? We are told not to persist in an old way, even when we might not understand the new way. Not looking back. Don't do the old thing the old way. You don't need the old. The new, the present future awaits and arrives. This is similar to the dark night of the soul, where life seems to engulf us in confusion and we give up hope. Can you honestly look back and not see the meaning for any challenges you faced? This is where there's always the pearl of wisdom. There's always a gift encompassed in the husk of a cloak of opposites experience. The situation is highly charged. You think? A full moon total lunar eclipse, conjunct Uranus, moon, a sun with Mercury, north node, south node. The situation is highly charged. I'm like, yeah, you think? But like the hero, going through the danger is necessary to discover who you are, what you really need, and what you are capable of accomplishing. In hero myths, one often discovers that the nemesis is actually a teacher, sometimes even a parent. In this case, the dangerous flow of water that has engulfed you will lead somewhere beneficial when you just relinquish control. So when you're swept up, flow. Take flight, flow. Allow yourself to be delivered. There is great power and realizations to be obtained when confronting fear in the deep waters of the unconscious. The current of events can be overwhelming like a deluge, but there is a benevolent aspect at play which is seeking to set you free. Along with the dangerous abyss you must descend into, we see an image of a cap with wings, signifying one who teaches others how to transcend difficulty because of actual experience. Here they're talking about a cap with wings. Mercury is boots with wings. It's a messenger, it's a teacher, it's taking flight, it's deliverance. You might rise above the danger with the faith that all is unfolding as it should. You can also choose to allow the situation to lead you deeper into your own psyche and emotional dynamics. Using humor or escapism to mask the danger won't work. The winged cap isn't a toy and doesn't magically appear so you can just rise above or hide from difficulty. It requires work to achieve enlightenment. It requires, and the works is, again, being willing to see, I'm tending my garden and my path. I'm purifying, I'm curating, I'm pruning. I'm willing to look at myself and my actions and my thoughts and beliefs. I'm willing to advance and not look back. I'm willing to harmonize the purity and to purify the shadow element, the dark and the light, because too much is too much. Not enough is not enough. And so it's the harmonizing and the balancing. However you decide to proceed, after a time of meeting the abyss, you will become more sincere in your outlook. And remember the beautiful quote, when you're sincere, success is assured. This is what is meant by, here's the quote, when you are sincere, you will meet with success. Con is a time of testing. Clarity as the underlining cause can be a message that an old outlook can no longer serve the new person you are becoming. This is where people, places, things, jobs, titles, relationships, locations, all of these things, because the clarity, the underlining cause of clarity, provides you a message that says, see, the old is no longer it for you. You know to go forward, even though it's scary. Nourishing vision as the hidden influence can remind you that even when the way forward seems to threaten your idea of safety, Energy is working deep within to transform your confusion into clear vision. Khan is the keeper of the night self and embodies that part of us that knows exactly who we are and where we need to be. Trust the process at play in your situation and pay attention to your dreams. Even nightmares are a positive sign that authentic power is being returned to the psyche. The hidden or shadowed side of life is every bit as important as what you see by daylight. This is the ultimate hero's journey of self-discovery. If you can awaken to how you project the past upon experiences, you will discover that fear is a fertile garden. I always say fear is your friend. So fear is a fertile garden, and once transformed, becomes that place where dreams are planted to become reality. So there's this beautiful offering, and I'll post this. This is from Carrie Hone from cafeausoul.com. There's just this absolute beauty in this moment, in these energies. The 11-2, the 11-9, the 11-29, that is hexagram 29, Abyss, and how this is a powerful week. We begin on Monday with an 11-7. Today is 11-9. We complete the week 11-11, 22 with this mantra of this is my now. So final words to everyone on today is be on the runway, cleared for takeoff, knowing that it is open, unobstructed, and that you have every opportunity and ability to take flight, because the alternative is to run away. The alternative is to, like Lot's wife, turn to a pillar of salt. No need to do that. No need to not believe fully in your soul source connection, in your divine inspiration, enthusiasm, and ability, and know that peace be with you. Peace is your friend. Enthusiasm is your vehicle. And what opens before us next week, what presents itself, because there's clarity involved. Great clarity. It will guide you forward. Simply allow it to. Hands off the wheel. So I'm going to close with AN saying thank you so much for all of the beautiful things you have said today. Very grateful for your words of wisdom, encouragement, and peace. And Elizabeth saying, and also with you. Thank you. Thank you all so much. You are absolute gifts from God, gifts from Source. And I enjoy sharing these moments with you because, we're all in it together. It takes a village. And this is just a beautiful space to come to every Wednesday. So thank you all for sharing your time and blessings and offerings, love and support and wisdom. Without you, it would not be the same. So thank you all so much. Have a blessed, beautiful week. Be open and ready, and we will see each other next week.